Hi guys, Diana from Really Do It Yourself here. Today I'm going to teach you how to make your own little notebooks using any type of paper you have laying around. Okay? We're going to learn how to make them 3 different ways. We're going to make the saddle stitch, we're going to make the side stitch, and perfect bound books. Okay, so you're going to need, like I said, any paper you have lying around, be it regular printer paper, graph paper, sketchbook paper, the sky's the limit, any paper you have at home. You're also going to need scrapbooking paper. Scrapbooking paper usually comes 12 by 12. You can buy them individual sheets, or you can buy a book like this. Usually they put them on sale at the craft stores. And this one is for Valentine's Day, and it has a lot of beautiful prints. So this is the one that I'm using today, especially since Valentine's Day is right around the corner. Okay? You're also going to need a pair of scissors, an X-Acto knife, some clamps, and these I bought at Home Depot. They're about 50 cents each. If you've seen my other videos, you see that I use these often. A pencil, a ruler, a cutter. If you don't have a paper cutter, that's fine. We're going to use the scissor. And now for the X-Acto knife, you're going to need a self-healing mat so that you don't cut anything. You're going to use the X-Acto knife on this mat. If you don't have it, don't worry. We're going to use the scissor. You're going to need tape, any decorative tape. You see here I've used the red tape. I bought electrical tape at Home Depot as well. You can use any tape you like. You're going to need some glue, a stapler and staples. You're going to need pins. Okay, so these little tiny pins, which are being held here by my adorable cupcake. So any type of pins, if you have a safety pin, if you have a paper clip, well, I don't know if the paper clip is going to go through, but anything that has a pointy end so that we can make holes. I think that's it. Another thing is I'm going to throw in a bonus, and I'm going to show you how to transform the composition notebooks that your children take to school into something fun that they're going to love to use all the time, like this. Isn't this adorable? Even though mine is pink, it's not boring, but you know, the black and white ones, the plain ones, you want to put something nice. So this one here, this is also from the Valentine's Day collection. Isn't this pretty? So I'm going to show you how to do this, obviously, with the front side, okay? So let's get closer and let's begin. Okay, let's begin. The first book I'm going to show you is the Perfect Bound book, which this is a Perfect Bound book, okay? And now I didn't finish this one because I'm going to show it here. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to grab a bunch of paper, and here I use graph paper, so you take it, make sure it's the same size, and then you're going to take your clamps. Again, you can find these at Home Depot. Okay? You're going to take any type of glue, Elmer's glue, school glue, and what you're going to do is you're going to put some glue here and brush it. Make sure you don't get on the front of the pages, okay? And you're going to let that dry. And I think you should put about 2 or 3 coats in order to achieve what we have here, where the pages are not going to be removed easily. So once that's done, okay, we'll move on to the next step. You're going to take a piece of scrapbooking paper, any design you like, and you're going to cut it out to the size of your book. So you see here we have the perfect size. Now the only thing here that you have to do is you're going to measure the spine of your book. So you want to measure, and this I took and I put right here. I put a little pencil mark as you saw here. I put another pencil mark here, and then you fold it and make sure that it's going to fit right on top of your book, okay? See? And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use this glue as well. Normally I would use hot glue, and what you want to do is you want to put some more glue, okay? A nice amount of glue. As you see here, I've put a nice thick amount of glue, and you're going to make sure you press that on the spine that you just created, okay? And now you're going to take and you're going to put your clamps back on and let that dry. So we'll get back to this book shortly while this sets, okay? Isn't that adorable? So now the next one that we're going to do is a side stitch. And for the side stitch book, which is this one here, so you see it has the staples on the side. And again, like I said, I've used my scissor for all of them. You can use a cutter, that's why you see some of the jagged edges, but this is just for personal use. If you're going to make it to give away, then you want to make sure you cut, and I'm going to show you how you would do that. So what you want to do is cut a bunch of papers the same size, okay? And you also want to cut the cover the same exact size as the paper. See where they're aligned perfectly? You're going to take your stapler. I don't know what I did my stapler. And what we're going to do is we're going to staple Let's staple the center first. I'm going to staple the corners. And I'm doing it a little bit lower just so that you can see where the staples are. I would probably do them just a little bit closer, okay? But that doesn't matter because we're going to cover it up with some tape. Like I said, I have some electrical tape here. So what we're going to do, just take a piece of tape that's the same size as our book. Okay, and we're going to cut that. Okay, and then we're going to tape it right over the staples, I'm sorry. And turn it over, nice and tight, and just pull. Okay. And here you see we missed a little piece. That's fine, just make sure you get it all the way to the top. This is for show purposes, but isn't that adorable? I think I'm going to carry this one in my purse. Okay, so that's two ways of doing your little books. And now the third way is the saddle stitch, which I feel is one of my favorites. And this is a saddle stitch, which means you have the staples here. But we're not going to be using, like I did before, we're not going to use the stapler. We're going to just use the staple. So this one is saddle stitched. This one is, as you can see, I love this one. This one as well. And now in order to be able to do this with ease, I'm going to say don't use more than 10 sheets. And now the way you would do this here is, I have one already prepared that we're going to use. But let's say you're using your regular printer paper. Just make sure you divide each one in half. So you're going to fold them in half. Okay, make sure that you crease them individually. And then you're going to put them one inside the other. So I'm going to show you here with these little sheets I have here. So if I were going to do a saddle stitch on this one, see I'm doing two at a time here, that's fine. So then, because the other ones were very easy, it's just single sheets of paper. This is the only one you want to take, and you're going to put one inside the other. So you want to make sure they're all one inside the other like this, see? And you would do the same thing for the cover. So here, I have this one I thought was really pretty. Let's be totally awkward together. And the back, wine, will you be mine? So for this one here, as you see, the sheets of paper are bigger than my cover, and the cover is actually longer on one side, you see? So I've marked it with a pencil, and now this is where I can show you the cutter, so it's easier. And if you don't have a cutter, again, just draw out your line all the way down and just cut it with a scissor. It's fine. So now what I'm going to do to make it easier, I'm just going to turn this around, and I'm going to put this in my cutter where I see the line. Should be right in my line, which I should have made it all the way to the top, but it's okay. And then what I'm going to do is just cut that. See? So now this should be the perfect size, and I've also marked my paper. So you see here, the paper extends over. So here, I've marked my paper as well. Now this here, it's a little difficult to do it, all these pages in the cutter, unless you have a nice big professional cutter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in there anyways. Okay. I think we have to cut just a little bit more. Much better. Okay, so now you see here, you see where the sheet is. So I can just take and cut there. Just mark with my pencil, another little mark. I'll move those to the side while I cut the remaining sheets. Okay. And now I'm not trying to go for perfection here, it's just to show you guys so you get the idea. So let's just put that one on the inside. Okay. And now it should be much better. Oh, it's pretty decent. It has a little bit more here, but that one will go through with the X-Acto knife. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our clamps. Oops. Okay, we're going to take our clamps, make sure this is in the center. And you can hold whichever side you want with the clamps. It's just so that the sheets of paper don't move. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use my ruler. And now staples, the staples I have, I'm not sure if they come in different sizes, but they're about 1/2 inch in size. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure here. And now I'm going to start 1 inch from the edge of the book. So I'm going to put it right here. So it's going to be 1 to 1.5, okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to do, let's say, 6.5 to 7. We don't want it too close to the edge, and then you can also do one in the center. I mean, it's totally up to you. Just make sure your markings are 1/2 inch in size. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to take my sprinkles off my cupcake. Okay, I'm going to take here, and you want to make sure that the dots are in the line, so in the binding of the book. So that one wasn't, so I'm just going to do it where I think it belongs. So here I have one. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing for the other one, and right in the fold. So here I have the other one. So you want to do that to both. I'm going to suggest you start one at a time, just because I don't want you to prick yourself. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove that one. Let's finish up this one here. Okay, we're going to turn that over, and again with the top of the clamp, well, the bottom actually, the rubber piece, you're going to fold that down. Now see how adorable that is? Now this is another thing. You see here the pages are a little bit smaller than the actual book. There are 2 ways to fix that. My personal way is a scissor, but you can take a ruler, and it should be a metal ruler, a self-healing mat, and your X-Acto knife. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to cut nice and firmly. So you want to make sure you're holding it nice and firm. Okay, let's see how that came out. Perfect. Okay, see? And then you have that. Perfect. If you don't have an X-Acto knife or self-healing mat, you could just use a scissor. Just hold this here. You can also clamp it if you like, and just go straight along the edge of the papers. Okay, and there you have it. A saddle stitched book. Okay, adorable. Now, you see here, this is the perfect bound book. We can leave this one just like this, or you can put the tape on the edge, and that one will be just like this one here. See? This is the perfect bound. Now your last thing that I wanted to show you was how to do this. And I recommend on the hardcover composition notebooks. I'm doing it here on my, it's like a flimsy one. So that's why it curled up. Just you want to make sure if you're doing it on one like this, you put something heavy on it. So now I'm going to take the same exact piece of paper, not the same design. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on its edge here. So right here on its edge. So that way, well, just a little bit higher, so that you mark it exactly where you have to cut it. And for this one, I did cut it on. Well, you can actually cut it when it's here too as well, but I actually cut it in the cutter. Okay, so you want to take that. Again, if you don't have a cutter, what you can do is just draw the line all the way down. I have to find my little lines here. So you can draw your line with a pencil all the way down. And just cut it with a scissor. Okay, and here's that one. And now let's see where the other line was. Did I cut it in the wrong place? Okay, no, this is perfect. And then let me make another line since I lost my line. Oh, I found my line now. So now, oh, I cut it a little too short. It's okay. Just to give you the idea, you're going to put some glue. And we don't want to put too much glue. Okay, regular glue. And you're going to brush it all over the notebook. Let me leave that edge there since I didn't get all the way to the edge with the sheet of paper. And then what I want to do is I'm going to bring this and I'm going to attach it right there at the very edge. Okay. So here we are. And yes, you can move it around a little bit until you have it where it needs to be. So here, I want to get it exactly on the edge here. Perfect. And then what you do is, this is so that the glue, it can attach everywhere it has to go. My camera wanted to play tricks with me and it somehow was not recording when I was showing you the final part here. But basically what you're going to do is, let's say here, you're going to trim the excess. So you're going to cut right on the end. And if you have excess that you want to trim off, you could trim it off with a scissor. Now what I did here, I put the piece of tape that I did on the end here on the back side. And I wanted to cover my mistakes, okay? So what I did was I put tape all around the edge to make it look like this, okay? Isn't that nice? That way I don't have to throw away my notebook. I didn't mess up. I didn't have another one of the same image. It only brought two. So I fixed my mistake. So that way when you guys have, you know, you hit a little roadblock and you think that you messed up, no, just think about it and try to resolve it, give it a different look and make it look intentional. No one's going to know. I won't tell. Okay, so here you have this one here, the composition notebook. I think it's adorable. You could do that with all of them intentionally, put the tape around, or you could leave it just like this. They both look beautiful. So now I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I hope you have fun. Hope you make lots and lots of little notebooks for your scratch paper, your sketchbooks, your to-do list, just to carry in your bag. And you can do them with any design. Tag me on social media. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. Please share. Until next time. Bye.